Hello everyone, I'm Frank and welcome to Frank Puzzles, and this is today's easy level puzzle. Now take that easiness with a grain of salt because it's considered easy by the people on the Logic Masters Germany forum, and there's a lot of really smart people there. Today's puzzle is SVS number 429, which is German Whisper Dots, and it's by Richard. And here are the rules. Apply classic Sudoku rules, which means for each cell in the grid, place a single digit from 1 through 9 in each cell such that there are no repeats in any row, column, or designated 9-cell region, which in this case is a box. We have all horizontal... I can't speak. I don't know why. All horizontally and vertically neighboring digits with a difference of 5 or more are marked with a green dot. Neighboring digits with a difference of 4 or less are not marked with a green dot. So this acts like German whisper lines, but again, this is German whisper dots. And every instance where you have two cells that share an edge which contain digits which are 5 or more, you will have a green dot in between them. So the negative constraint applies. And neighboring digits which share an edge, which do not have a green dot between them, have a difference of 4 or less. So that is the negative constraint, essentially, put in paper. So, for example, these digits cannot be 8 or 9 because the negative constraint, the only digits which are 5 or more away from 3 are 8 and 9 specifically. And since there are no green dots around it, that means none of the cells that share an edge with it can contain a digit which is 5 or more away from 3. So that's an example of how German whispered dots work. And those are all the rules. If you like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. And now I'm going to get started. Let's go. Okay, so 5 is 5 cannot be next to any of these German whisper dots, because if you have a 5 next to a German whisper dots, subtract 5 or more from 5. What do you get? You get 0 or less, which is not a normal Sudoku digit. If you add 5 or more, you get 10 or more, which is not a digit. So none of these can be 5. 5 cannot be here. 5 has to be one of these two digits here. Where's 5 in box 6? Can't be here, can't be next to any of the German whisper dots, so it must be here. So this is 5, which means 5 in row 5 has to be one of these two cells because these are all next to German whispered dots. This is a high digit. 5, where is the 5 in box 9? Cannot be here. Cannot be here. Can't be next to a German whisper dot, so it must be here. So this is a 5. Where's the 5 in column 8? These are all next to German whisper dots, so those don't work. So this must be a 5. 5 can be any of these 3. Where's 5 in box 1? It could be any of these 4. Where is a 5 in row 8? Cannot be here because of the 5 in the box. Cannot be here because of the 5 in the box. So it must be one of these two. Okay. So these digits, if these were both low, one of these digits would have to be a digit from 1 through 3, which would necessitate a green cell marking one of these. Since these two are basically the opposite of the set, and you'll always alternate on German whisper lines or dots, you'll always alternate between low digits, which are the digits 1 through 4, and high digits, which are the digits 6 through 9, because 1 through 4 can only be next to a 6 through 9 on a German whisper dot, and 6 through 9 can only be next to 1 through 4 on a German whisper dot. So these two digits if they were both low, because they have to be the same set because they're opposite of this cell, if they're both low, one of them guaranteed has to be 3 or less, which would necessitate a German whisper dot between one of those and this. Therefore, these cannot be both low, these must both be high, which forces this to be low. What else do we know? 2 is, well, we don't know about these, though. We know this is a low. It's between 2 unique digits, and one of the digits at least has to be a 7 or 9. So it's 7 or 9, or 6, 7, or 9. And this could be 1 or 2. These cannot be 2 high digits. If there are 2 high digits, the problem is you'd have 4 high digits in box, or sorry, you have 5 high digits in box 6. So these must both be low, which forces this to be high and this to be low. This is also, these two are also low. This is low, so this must be high. One of these is at least a 3, right? Because this is next to 2 low digits, and it cannot both be 1 and 2. So this can't be 6 or 7, can't be 8, can't be, it has to be 9. So this is 9, which forces this to be a 6, 7 pair, which makes this 1 to be next to both of them. This has to be 2, 3, or 4. This is 2, 3, or 4, and this can't be 2. This is the 3, 4 pair. Therefore, the remaining digit has to be a 2 that's low in box 6. This is a 3, 4 pair. 3 and 4 can only be next to 9 if it's because there's no 8 in the column. So this has to be 9. These cannot be low, and they cannot be 5, obviously. So if these were both low, they would necessitate a German whispered knot next to it. So these both have to be high, which forces both of these to be low. This must then be high. We have 4 high digits in column 7, which eliminates high digits in the rest of the column. These are all low, therefore that makes this high, which makes this low. If both of these were low, the problem is we'd have 5 lows in box 9, which is not allowed. So these are both high, which forces this to be low. Okay, this cannot be 5 or more away from 8 because it's specifically there's no green dot next to it. So this cannot be 1, 2, or 3. It must be 4, which makes this 3, which makes that 4. The rest of these digits are 1 and 2. So this is 1 and 2, 1 and 2. This is 6 or 7. This can be 6 through 9. This cannot be 2. This is either 1 or 3. This is 1, 2, or 3 here. This has to be next to 2 unique digits, so it's 7, 8, or 9. This could be 6 through 9. 6 through can't be 9. This has to be a high digit because we already have 4 low digits in the box, and this is the 5. So this is 6, 7, or 8. 9 has to be one of these two. This is 6, 7, or 8. That's next to 1, 2, or 3 here, but it can't be 1. This can't be 1. This is a 2, 3 pair. Obviously, you cannot have a 6 here because that's next to a 2 or 3. Six is one of these two digits. Okay. What else do we have? One of these two digits must be low. So it's either 3 or 4, but this can't be 4 because it's next to two unique digits, with an 8 or 9. One of these two digits is low, one is high. One of these two digits is low, and one of these two digits is high because they're opposite. One of these has to be low and high because they're next to each other on a German whisper line. Therefore, if this is low, this is high, which forces that to be low, and that would force that to be high. So you'd have one low and one high here. If this is high, this would be low and low. That low would force this to be high, and again, you'd have one of each here. So there's one of each that's low and high here, one of each that's low and high here. Therefore, we have 4 lows already accounted for in row 5. So this must be 5 and a high, specifically. This is low and high. These are low and high. This is low and high. Or high. No, low and high. Where's the low in row 4? We have to have a low here. So this is low and high. That leaves the rest of this as high, and these could be 5. So this is 1 with 6, 7, or 8, because you can't have a 9 in the row. This cannot be 1. So again, and it can't be 2, so this must be, again, 3, 4 with 8 or 9. 8 can't be here. 4 can't be here. 4 could actually be here if it's between 2 9s, so it's possible. This can't be 1 or 2, so if this is low, it's a 4. Otherwise, this could be 1 or 2 here. So if this is 4, this has to be 9. If this is high, this is obviously 1 or 2. So one of these has to be a 9, guaranteed. Either this is low, this is high, which forces this to be 9 because it can't be 8 because it's next to 3 or 4. Or this is 9 because this can only be 4 if it's low. This could be 6, 7, 8, or 9 here, though. So one of these two is 9. If this were 3 or 4, this would be 8 or 9. So this could be, if this is low, it could be 1 through 4. If it's high, it's next to a 3. So it would have to be 9, but 9 cannot be here because of this. One of these having to be a 9. So this has to be a low, which forces this not to be low. This is high, which forces this to be a low. So this is 3 or 4. This has to be 8 or 9, and this is 1 through 4 here. Okay. We have one of these is high, this is high, this is high, and one of these is high. That means we have 4 highs in box 5, which eliminates 5 highs in the rest of the box. This then must be a low. And again, if it were not 4, the thing is these two digits would have to have a green German whisper dot between them. So this has to be a 4 if it's low. This is 3. This can't be 3 or 4. This can't be 4. So since this can't be 4 and this can't be 4, this has to be a high here, which means it cannot be. This is high, which forces this to be low, which makes this high, which makes this a low. And it has to be 4 because 3 is already taken in the row. That makes this a 9. This cannot be 9. This is 1 or 2. This is 8 or 9 next to the 3. This could be any of 6, 7, 8, or 9. What else do we have? 3 has to be one of these two. This is a blue-red pair, low-high pair. 3 cannot be next to 8 or 9 here. So this is if it's high, since it's high, it has to be 6 or 7. This 2 cannot be next to 7 or 8. This can't be 7 or 8. This can't be 7 or 8. It's 5 or 6 here. This could be 5 through 9. That's fine. This cannot be a low. If this were low, there would have to be a green dot between them. So this is high, which forces this to be low. But this has to be a 3. This cannot be, 8 cannot be either of these, but 8 could be here. This is 6 or 7, which is fine. Okay, what are the remaining digits in column 9? We have 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. This cannot be a low digit because if it's 9, a low digit would have to have a green dot next to it. So this is high. We now have in box 3 4 highs, so the rest are not high. These are low. So this is 6, 7, or 8. We have 1, 3, 4 here, 1, 3, 4 here. 4 must be one of these two. Eight has to be one of these two. This cannot be 9 because if it were 9, the 4 would have to have a green dot between them. So the 9 has to be here. This can no longer be 3 because if it were 3, it would be in between at least a 7, at most a 7 and 8. And 3 cannot be next to a 7 on a German whispered dot. So this is 1, which makes this 2, which makes that 3. 2 eliminates 2 here, so that's 1. This can't be 3, so this is 2. This can't be 2 and 7 because there would then be a green dot between them, so this is 6. None of these can be 6 then. None of these can be 1. Okay. We don't know what these are. What are the remaining? Okay, so this cannot be a low because again, you'd have a 9 next to a low, which without a German whispered dot between them. We have this then has to be a 6 because that's the only digit remaining that's high in row 3. These have to be low or 5. And it's 1, 2, 4, and 5. And this can't be 2 or 4 because of the 2, 4 pair in the box. So at least 2 of these are low. And we have a sequence of 3 German whisper dots, but 4 cells next to German whisper dots. So 2 of those must be low, which means the remaining digits are high. Because we can't have 3 lows here. Because if that's 3 lows, that would force 5 lows in the box. So this cannot be low. This cannot be mid. It's 1, 2, or 4. 5 has to be one of these. These are both high. 6 cannot be here. 6 is, this can be specifically 6, 7, or 8. These digits are 7, 8, or 9. What you cannot have here as a low would be a 2. If this is 2, that would necessarily be next to this. So this would be 4 at least, if it's a low. It cannot be 1, 2. It can't be 1 or 3. And if there's 2 were here, there would be a green German whispered dot between them. So if this is 4, this is 9. This would have to be the 3, because there's no other place for the 3 in the box, and this would then be 8. That's possible. Or this is high. So this would be 7, 8, or 9. It could be next to 2 or 3 here. This would be next to, could be 1. So it's 7, 8, and 9. Yeah, where is the 6? 6 cannot be here, because that would necessarily be next to 1. 6 can't be here, 6 can't be here. Where is a 6 in this box? It must be here. So this is 6. If this is 2 or 3, 7, 8, 9, you have 1, 2, 3, or 4, but it can't be 2 or 4, so it's 1 or 3 here. Okay. This cannot be 6, 7, 8, or 9. This 6 eliminates 7, 6 here, so this is 7, which means none of these can be 7, and this can't be 7. This also can't be 7. This is 8 or 9. If this were a high, it can only be 8 or 9, and therefore there would be a German whisper dot next to it. Therefore, these are lows, and this must be a high. Cannot be 2, 3, or 4 here, so this must be a 1. 1 can be next to 7 or 8, but not next to 6, because this 6 would be next to 2 unique digits. This is 2 or 3. This cannot be 2. Where is the 2 in column 6? It must be here. That makes this a 2. That makes this a high. That 2 eliminates 2 here, so this is 3. This has to be 8. This has a difference of 5. There must be a low, so it must be 4 here. So this must be 4 and 9, which forces the remaining digits in box 8 to be 6 and 7. That 6, 7 pair eliminates 6 and 7 in the rest of the column. This can't be 6. This can't be 6. This is 5. So this is not the high. This is not the pink. We have an 8, 9, 8, 9 pair in box 5, which eliminates 8 and 9 in the rest of the box. Therefore, this is 6. This 8 eliminates 8 here. This is 9, which makes that 8. This 9 eliminates 9 here, so this is 4. This is 9, therefore this is low. These are all highs, which means these both have to be low. Also in row 2, one of these digits is high. This is high. These two are high. That leaves 4 highs. So this must be low, or it's a 5. And it has to be a 5, actually. So this is 5. That makes this a high digit, because we have 4 lows already in that box. This is high. It cannot be 8 or 9 or 6, so this must be 7, which eliminates 7 in the rest of the row. This becomes an 8, 9 pair. This is 1, 2, and 4. This can't be 1, though. This can't be 2. We know one of these two digits is a low in row 7, and we have 3 other lows there, so that means this cannot be low, and it cannot be a 5, therefore it's a high. So this is 6, 7, or 8. That means this must be a 2, 9 pair in the rest of row 7. Okay. If this were 9, there would be a green dot between them. So this is 2, which makes this 9. So these are both low. This is high. This 9 eliminates 9 here. If this, therefore, where is the 9 in box 1? It has to be one of these two. If this were 9, this could not... If this were 4... Let's say, okay, well, this has to be low. So since this is low, this cannot be low. This is high. So these two are high, and this is a low. So this is not 3. This is 1 or 3 here. 2 or 3, 2, 4, 1, 4. This is a low. So this must be 1, 3, or 4. Cannot be 1. It's 3 or 4. We have a low digit here. It has to be 1, and it must be with high. This cannot be 5. It must be a high digit because we have 3 other lows in row 9, and one of these is low. That's 4 lows accounted for. This is high. It cannot be 6. This becomes 7 or 8. This is a 7, 8 pair. We have all the... This can't be 8 because of the 8 in the row. This must be low or 5, and this must be low or 5. So this is 3, 4, 5 here. This is 3, 4, 5. This can't be 4 because of the 4 in the column. This must be a 1, 6 pair. If this were a 1, there would have to be a green dot between these two. So this can't be 1. This is 6, which makes this 1. This is a high then, which makes this low. This cannot be 1, so it can't be low then, which makes this a low and is the 1. So this can't be 1 here. This 6 eliminates 6 here, so this is 7, which makes this 6, which makes that 7. This 6 eliminates 6 here, and 6 can't be here. Where is the 6 in box 9? It can only be here. So this is 6. That 6 eliminates 6 here. It's 7 and 6. This 7 eliminates 7 here, so this is 8. We have 4 highs in column 2, so this cannot be high. This is the medium, which means this can't be medium. This can't be medium. So this is 5. This can't be 5. If this were 2, there would have to be a green German whisper dot between them. So this can't be 2. This is 4, which makes this 3, which makes that 2. The 4 eliminates 4 here and 4 here. The 2 eliminates 2 here. This becomes a 1, 5 pair, which eliminates 1 and 5 in the rest of the box and the row. This can't be 1. This is 2, which makes this 1, which makes that 2. This 2 eliminates 2 here. It's 4, 1. 4 eliminates 4 here. It's 3 and 4. This 1 eliminates 1 here. It's 3. This 3 eliminates 3 here. It's 5. This can't be 3 or 5. This is 4. This cannot be a 5. This is not blue now, so this is pink. This is not pink. That forces this to be pink and that not to be pink. So this is a 1. This is 1. This is 5. This has to be 6. This is 8. 8 eliminates 8 here. It's 9 and 7. 9 eliminates 9 here. It's 8 and 9. This cannot be 8 because there would need to be a German whisper dot between them. So this is 7, and that disambiguates everything else. So this is 8, 7, 8, 7, and 8. And that's the solution. Pretty nice use of the negative constraint here. I do like German whisper lines or dots, and this was fun. Mainly because I get to color a lot. So I don't know why I love coloring on Sudoku grids. So this is always a pleasure to when I get to color the entire grid, and it makes sense. So the negative constraint was very well used, I felt, throughout. Yeah, nice puzzle. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this solve, and I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.